optimum spacing for different stages. Introduction. Silkworm rearing is an extensive month-long exercise starting from egg stage and terminating in adults laying eggs and dying their natural death. During this course, they pass through 5 larval instars including 4 molds, cocoon and pupal stage. Silkworm rearing effectively means the culturing of 5 larval instars, as other stages like egg, pupa and adults are non-feeding stages. Whole life cycle spans through 45 to 50 days with 10 to 12 days of egg stage, 25 to 30 days of larval stage, 3 to 4 days cocoon spinning stage, 5 to 7 days as pupal duration and 4 to 5 days in adult stage. Prevailing environmental conditions, especially temperature and relative humidity conditions, are vital in determining silkworm physiology, as it is a cold-blooded organism. Hence, maintenance of recommended temperature, relative humidity means RH, light and ventilation conditions for every stage of rearing are of utmost importance for successful silkworm rearing. Dark condition, room temperature and 65% relative humidity is required for incubation of silkworm eggs. 26 to 28 degrees Celsius temperature and 80 to 85% relative humidity is required for first and second instar larvae, means the chalky silkworm rearing, while 24 to 25 degrees Celsius and 60 to 65% relative humidity is required for third, fourth and fifth instar larvae, means late age silkworm rearing. Objectives. As soon as the silkworm larvae grown up, the unconsumed leaves and litter increases in the rearing bed, which ultimately causes changing atmosphere and favoring multiplication of pathogenic organisms. Hence, timely bed cleaning is essential to keep the silkworms healthy. Frequent cleaning is better, but it involves more labor and ultimately silkworm rearing is uneconomical. Therefore, it is necessary to prepare stage-wise cleaning schedule. The main objectives of bed cleaning is to remove fecal matter, dead worms and leaf remnants which would promote fungal growth and to maintain the hygienic condition during silkworm rearing. Silkworm rearing. In general, silkworm rearing is divided into 2 types, namely chalky silkworm rearing, late age silkworm rearing. Depending upon the nutritional requirements and environmental condition to be maintained during rearing. In both the phases of rearing, all the requirements are different and techniques of rearing are also quite distinct. The first 2 third instar worms form the young age and the remaining 2 instars forms the late age worms. Chalky rearing. Rearing of young age silkworm is called chalky rearing. Here, silkworms are reared from brushing to third instar and distributed to the rearers for late age rearing. Chalky rearing in mass at each chalky rearing center, means CRC, will not only control the attack of diseases, but also facilitate the rearing on most scientific lines, and cost wise it is most economical. To maintain coolers, heaters, exhaust fans etc. by individual rearers is a costly affair. However, all these facilities can be maintained in chalky rearing centers. Overcrowding of silkworms means insufficient space for the movement and free feeding of the silkworms. Crowded condition favors to increases gases and fermentation of fecal matter. Fermentation process particularly happens during early stages when temperature and humidity are high. In this condition, silkworms do not feed freely. This results in unequal and unhealthy growth of larvae. The silkworms become weak and easily susceptible to various diseases. The commercial characters are also severely affected. A good cocoon crop at the end of successful rearing is greatly influenced by the conditions of young age silkworms rearing. Therefore, young age worms should be reared under good rearing condition, providing them with suitable and good quality mulberry leaves. Higher temperature from 26 to 28 degrees Celsius and relative humidity ranging from 85 to 90% are ideal conditions for young age rearing. Sufficient tender means the glossy leaves and fresh leaves should be provided to young age silkworm rearing. Maximum care should be taken not to expose young age worms to extreme heat and cold. The young age worms are very delicate and should be handled with utmost care. In spite of normal care during young age worms rearing, the chances of loss of silkworms, particularly first and second instar, are more than the grown up silkworms larvae. Late age silkworm rearing. Scientific cultivation of mulberry and adoption of new technologies in silkworm rearing play an important role in the production of quality raw silk. The larval duration in the life cycle of the silkworm ranges from 24 to 30 days. The larval stage comprises of 5 instar and 4 molds. Rearing of silkworms from 3rd instar up to spinning stage is called the late age silkworm rearing. During this period, the silkworms consumes more than 90% of total mulberry leaves required. 133 times increases in body size, 125 times increases in body weight and 1000 times increases in the silk gland weight from the time of hatching. Since the late age silkworms are sensitive to high temperature and humidity, scientific rearing methods and rearing skill methods are necessary for achieving maximum growth and survival of the larvae, thereby increasing the cocoon yield and silk production. Late age silkworm rearing classified into 2 types, namely silkworm rearing in a bamboo trays. Rearing of silkworms in bamboo rearing trays has been the traditional method of rearing in our country. Late age silkworms larvae require a temperature of 22 to 25 degrees Celsius, 70 to 80% relative humidity, 16 to 8 hours of light and darkness. The rearing room has to be adequately ventilated. Depending on the season and environment, the silkworms are to be fed 3 to 4 feedings per day. The mulberry is to be harvested during the cooler hours of the day and transported in bamboo leaf baskets covered with wet gunny cloth to the leaf storage room. The leaves are stored in leaf storage chamber which are covered with wet gunny cloth. This will preserve the leaf moisture for a longer period and maintain the quality of leaves. Perforated PVC pipes can be placed inside the heap. This helps to reduce temperature buildup inside the leaf chamber. In tray rearing method, the worms are reared providing the leaves on the tray. Trays are made up of either bamboo or wood in different shapes and size. The shapes are round in bamboo made, square and rectangular in wooden. The young age means first to third instar silkworm rearing is conducted either in the wooden trays of 50 centimeter into 60 centimeter into 5 centimeter size or in bamboo tray of 70 centimeter in diameter. However, bamboo trays of size 1 meter diameter is more convenient to rear 10 to 15 DFLs until second and third instar, while 600 to 700 worms can be reared up to fourth instar and 300 worms in the final instar, which also provide sufficient space. Although bunch rearing method has more advantage with more hygienic condition and less cost, but the tray rearing facilitates more capacity of rearing by using rearing stand of 6 to 7 tier system with 2 trays per tier. Chute feeding methods of rearing. To bring down the labor cost and increase the productivity, chute feeding methods of rearing has been developed, standardized for tropical conditions and recommended for the sericulturists. This new technology reduces the labor cost to an extent of 50%. Irrigated mulberry gardens are suitable for adoption of chute feeding method. 5 to 6 crops can be harvested in an unit area of mulberry garden with an interval of 40 to 45 days between the crops. In this method, operating 15 to 20% leaf saving can be achieved, which can be used by brushing additional DFLs, increasing the cocoon productivity per unit area of land. Since the leaves are attached to the shoots, the quality of leaves is maintained for a longer period, facilitates effective feeding and reduces the leaf cocoon ratio significantly. The mulberry shoots to be cut using sharp secateurs or sharp sickle, leaving 2 to 3 buds from the previous cut and harvested during the cooler hours of the day, covered with wet gunny cloth and immediately transported to the leaf storage room. The shoots are placed upright and covered with wet gunny cloth. In this method of rearing, bamboo trays or rearing stands are not required. Instead, shoot rearing racks are constructed or fabricated. The rack should be 5 feet in width and length, as long as the rearing hall. The rearing rack can have 3 to 4 tiers with a gap of 2 to 2.5 feet between the racks for effective aeration. 600 to 700 square feet rearing space is required for hybrids, while the CSR hybrids require 800 to 850 square feet bed area is required. After resuming from the moult, the second and third instar larvae are to be eventually spread on lime powder, dusted old newspaper spread on the shoot rearing rack. Mulberry shoots should be gently placed on the rearing bed opposite to one another. Depending on the season, 3 to 4 feedings can be given per day, and as the larvae grow, bed spacing should be increased. When more than 90% of the larvae settle for fourth molt, feeding should be stopped. Aeration inside the rearing room increased and rearing beds should be dried by dusting active lime powder. When more than 90% of the larvae come out of the moult, the rearing beds should be disinfected by dusting the recommended quality of disinfectants, and after 30 minutes feeding should be resumed. In the shoot feeding method, rearing bed is cleaned once after fourth molt by using rearing nets or rope. Larvae spread evenly as per the recommendation and the feeding resumed. If the rearing room humidity is very low, the rearing beds can be covered with old newspaper. Spacing. Larval growth will be very fast in the silkworms during the early stages. Too much crowded in the rearing tray result in increases in humidity, heat, fermentation of litter, which result in unhygienic conditions, wastage of leaf and underdevelopment of silkworm. The number of trays and space required for each instar will increases. Spacing should be given simultaneously at the time of bed cleaning, and care should be taken not to disturb the worms very frequently. Silkworm larvae feed on mulberry leaves, derive nourishment from them and grow. As they grow, they need a larger area for rearing. In other words, while preparing the rearing bed, proper spacing is necessary for the growing larvae. Unless proper provision for spacing is made to, population density of the larvae in the rearing bed becomes very high and this results in congestion. In such an event, the larvae are not able to consume enough quantity of mulberry leaves and suffering from malnutrition, which adversely affects the physiology of silkworm. The congested rearing of larvae also may lead to induction of viral diseases in them. At the same time, when viral and other diseases break out, even the healthy larvae may become infected with the pathogens and the chances of their infection invariably increases. As the larvae grow, it is therefore necessary to appropriately enlarge and space out the rearing bed. Spacing needs to be carefully planned right from the rearing of the first instar to the fifth instar larvae. As the larval growth is gradual, rearing can be initially done in a single tray on the rearing bed. Later, as larvae grow, it becomes impossible to accommodate them all in one tray and they need to be spread out into many trays. In other words, the rearing started in a single tray needs to be carried out in 2 or more trays by dividing the larvae into groups. While spacing can be planned as per the practical requirements during rearing, the standard practice is to space out daily during the first instar, at the time of the fourth or fifth feeding from the second instar onwards, but twice during the peak feeding period. As already mentioned, with too many larvae per unit area of the rearing bed, it gives rise to what is popularly known as crowded rearing. The opposite of this condition is lean rearing. When the crowding of larvae is too much, there is a shortage of feed resulting in malnutrition. Also, the silkworm diseases occur frequently and a large number of larvae become diseased. Subsequently, the quality of cocoons deteriorates, the cocoon yield becomes low and the old cocoons are weak. The damage is particularly extensive when both the temperature and humidity are high. On the other hand, if the rearing is lean, it is uneconomical in terms of the labor involved in the collecting mulberry leaves, maintenance of the rearing room and the number of rearing implements is used. Another type of problem occurs during the rearing of engaged larvae, as large number of them are lost along with the leftover mulberry leaves when they are discarded. The area of the rearing bed depends upon many conditions. For example, the size of the larvae, which is not always the same in different strains of the silkworms. Moreover, there is a difference in size between the spring and summer autumn larvae. The maintenance of optimum number of worms per unit area according to their size or stage of the worms during rearing is called spacing of silkworm. Proper spacing and good aeration keeps the worms healthier. Overcrowding of the silkworms in the rearing tray leads to the competition for food and space, and ultimately undernourishment and unhealthy growth of the larvae often result in a crop loss. Optimum spacing is therefore to be accomplished through experience. Spacing of the worms should be made combining with leaning. 2 times rearing space is given sufficient from the first instar to third instar. In fourth instar, it may be necessary to increase the space by 2 or 3 times, and again in the fifth instar 2 times space is required to increases than the previous instar. In a standard size rearing tray, means 1 meter in diameter, 300 larvae of 5th instar silkworms can be reared conveniently. This is an important aspect which needs maximum care. Overcrowded bed does not permit free and complete growth of the silkworm. It is very important for the various and full growth of the silkworm. As the silkworms grows in size and weight, the bed density increases, leading to the crowding. Therefore, the population density in the rearing bed should be regulated to ideal condition. In rearing, most of the failures are because of improper spacing in the bed. As the age of the silkworms increases, the length and breadth also increases. Length and breadth of the worms. This table indicates that need to expand the rearing bed from time to time, thereby orderly growth of silkworm can be expected. Schedule of spacing. Sparse spacing of silkworm is not desirable as it leads to wastage of mulberry leaves. In normal condition, the space is double or triple from first instar to third instar. On the whole, the space has to be increased by 80 to 100 times from brushing to ripening of silkworm spinning. Time and frequency of spacing. Spacing should be given simultaneously with continuous development of silkworms. Therefore, silkworms are spaced at each feeding. The development of silkworm is most rapid in first stage. Thus, spacing is done frequently, and it is always advantageous to combine spacing with cleaning. This saves labor also. In further instar, spacing is combined with cleaning. When the humidity and temperature are higher than optimum, then the silkworms are spaced. The rearing trays are kept in alternate cells for free circulation of air. Method of spacing. The spacing can be conducted separately or in combination with cleaning. Among these, 2 are the latest methods is convenient and satisfactory. It helps in less handling and less disturbance of silkworm. Bed cleaning. It is a process to remove waste and harmful material found in the rearing bed. Bed cleaning is done daily during 4th and 5th instar. In branch feeding, shoot feeding and individual leaf feeding, they are cut into small pieces before feeding. Generally, bed cleaning is preferably after first feeding. The net size of 20 mm square is spread prior to feeding. The bed cleaning is done before the second feed, where the silkworms along with the net and leaves are transferred into the fresh tray. The fecal matters and remnant of mulberry leaves are put into manure feed. While cleaning, attention should be paid to keep the room, floor and premises clean and tidy. Spacing of silkworms in the rearing bed play a vital role for the success of silkworm crop and improvement of cocoon quality. Besides, all precautions taken while feeding of the worms by adequate leaves, crowded condition leads to the undernourishment and uneven development of the silkworms. Further, It favors the incidence of diseases and yield of inferior quality of cocoons. Overspacing leads to the leaf wastage and higher the leaf cocoon ratio. Therefore, optimum spacing based on the growth of a different instar is necessary to get good crops. Spacing should be increased simultaneously with the growth of the larvae. It is better to space the worms while bed cleaning. The late age silkworms are spaced every day.